This year marks the anniversary for Taiwan Relation Act, but in the meantime, this year also marks the 40th anniversary for the former Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping's reform and opening up policy. What is the impact of this policy on China, and how has this policy affected Asia-Pacific region's development? Because not with this policy, China wouldn't have come to emerge into a strong power as it is now in this region.
Look, the openness that Deng Xiaoping promoted 40 years ago was a world historical event. It created a middle class in China that through foreign investment, through technological development, through turning China eventually into a manufacturing hub, took hundreds and millions of people out of poverty and gave them the opportunity to gain skills, to have meaningful employment, to have access to modern technology. People went from homes, and when I talk to Chinese friends who are my age, they grew up in homes without heating in the wintertime. They grew up obviously without air conditioning. They grew up without modern transportation systems, and we all think back to those early days when former late President George H.W. Bush became the U.S. envoy to Beijing in the 1970s, and the mid-1970s, and we think back to the President and Barbara Bush bicycling around Tiananmen Square. There were very few cars in China in those days, and now China has become this modern, bustling economy. The architecture in the major cities is incredible. The movement, obviously, of rural people to the cities, and the change in Chinese society, where high technology is now omnipresent in China. It's changed China internally, but there are challenges with that change now, with the use of these same technologies to oppress its citizens, to follow their behavior, to record their actions whenever possible. We've seen a China that has proclaimed an openness to the world that it doesn't really have. And this openness has allowed state-owned industries, intelligence agencies to gain access to all sorts of information, both about Chinese citizens and about overseas individuals and corporations, violating freedom of almost every conceivable kind of freedom. So we're at a moment in the relationship where the hopes of a liberalized China have not been met. The dreams of a liberalized China have not been met, and instead we're at a period where China is using this prowess that it has developed because of Deng Xiaoping's policies to take advantage of its own citizens and of those it does business with. And so it's a very challenging moment.